Welcome to Cowgirl Up, the podcast dedicated to elevating your mindset. I'm your host, Lori Blickenstaff, certified mental performance coach at mentalgame101.com. Have your emotions ever gotten in the way of being able to perform your best? Are you curious about how top athletes manage their emotions to bounce back from setbacks and to maintain their competitive edge? Well, today we're going to discover their secret. It's called emotional regulation. Emotional regulation is the ability to manage and respond to our emotions in a healthy and productive way. It's important to note that it does not mean avoiding or suppressing our emotions. More so, it just involves being aware of our emotions and the feelings that they elicit, and then having strategies to effectively process and modify them when necessary. In competition, and of course in life too, learning to regulate your emotions is critical. And here's why. First and foremost, it helps you maintain focus and composure, which obviously will positively affect your performance. Second, it aids you in managing your stress and remaining calm under pressure, which lets you think clearly and make better decisions. And then third is that it helps you bounce back from setbacks or losses more quickly. So you might be wondering what that looks like in reality. So I'm going to share an example of the emotional ups and downs that a tennis player might experience, during a high stakes match, and then the strategies she uses to regulate those emotions. So if you can imagine her at the start, she's feeling a little anxious due to her fear about the outcome. So she then uses her strategies of deep breathing and her pregame routine to calm her nervous system and focus on what's in her control. Now, mid-match, you might imagine she makes a series of unforced errors, which gets her a little bit frustrated. But recognizing this feeling, she then uses her refocus routine to get back to the present and to her process. Then a little later, after losing a crucial set, she experiences disappointment. But by using some positive self-talk and reminding herself that she's great at rallying back, she takes all this feeling and just kind of channels it into motivation. So as you can see, emotional regulation basically just means a person has a toolkit and uses practice strategies to navigate those emotional ups and downs. Since this is a tennis example, I'm going to share a quote. I've given you this one before. It's by Novak Djokovic, who's an amazingly great tennis player. But he said that the difference between the biggest champions and the ones who are struggling to get to the highest level is the ability to not stay in those emotions for too long. He says, I experience it, I acknowledge it, but then I'm able to bounce back. So I encourage you to do this as well. And again, that is this week's power statement. I embrace my emotions and take control of my responses. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you have any questions, feedback, or comments, I'd love to hear from you. Email me at lori@mentalgame101.com.